Welcome to craft time. I am just going to take 1 second and go make sure that we are actually broadcasting. So we're going to be making some paper fans today. So assuming that everything is going, we're going to be making some of these guys. All right. So this is what we're making. We're making some paper fans. And then I put a little circle in the middle to make it look like a flower. But you can put whatever you want. You can leave them plain. But I'm going to show you how to make these into a garland. Hi, Sandra. All right. So I'm going to start off making a big one like this, but we'll also make a couple small ones. So I am going to add on our split screen as soon as I get my little lap desk out here. And I'm going to turn that. Okay, so we'll get this in the best position. Alrighty, so we're going to need 3 pieces of the same piece of paper. So I got my big old scrapbook pad out here again. And I'm just going to find something that I have 3 of the same. Here's one. So I'm going to use this first one. I'm just going to use this little minty polka dot guy. So I'll get all 3 of those. And obviously when we make smaller ones, for those just joining us, this is what we are going to be making, is some big paper fans that look like a flower if you put a little circle in the middle. So if you're making smaller ones, obviously 1 piece of paper is going to be fine because we're going to cut the paper down. But for this big one, we're going to use 3 sheets. I'm going to just turn myself a little bit. There. So we got 3 sheets of the same pattern paper. So much camera adjusting here. All right, I'll put those 2 aside. So you can be super anal about this if you want and measure everything out. I don't care that much. So I do have my ruler, and this is a metal ruler. I'm going to be using that because I'm using it both for my first measurement, but also for making my folds a little bit, the crease a little bit crisper. Now, if you're fancy and you have like a paper scorer, or if you're like Martha and have like that bone tool thing she always used to have, you can use that. I'm going to use a metal ruler. So for a 12 by 12 piece of paper, which is what this is, I'm going to be making my folds approximately 1 inch apart. So I'm really only going to measure the very first one. And we're basically starting off by making a paper fan. So I'm just going to have my ruler here, and I'm still not going to be overly concerned about it being perfect. That's about 1 inch. And I'm just going to go across, and then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm just going to deepen that crease so it's a nice crisp crease. And then I'll flip the paper over, and then you're going to fold it down just like you were making a fan. And you can measure all of these to make sure they stay perfectly 1 inch, but really no one is going to notice. So I don't score it down after every fold. I score the first one, and then I do it after every 2 or 3. So I've made another one, flip it over. Truly, if you've ever made a paper fan, you know how to do this. And now I've made a couple folds, so I'm going to take my ruler. You can use anything to do that. You can use a table knife, whatever. I just like to use my ruler because that's what I usually do. So we're just going to keep folding and folding, making our big paper fan. And every once in a while, just taking the crease. And it really, truly does not matter if you're doing this perfectly, because the final product, you can't really tell if, there we go, they're all perfect or not, especially when you get a bunch of them together. All right, so this is my last one. So on the last one, I'm going to fold the edge up so that it meets, even if it makes it a little tiny bit shorter. And if for some reason yours has a little bit of overhang and they don't meet up on the end, I would just grab your scissors and trim the edge off so that it does. And then once we have our whole stack, do a nice little fold. So we have an accordion, a fan, whatever. And then you're going to, if you have paper that on one side is a pattern, the other side is blank, we're going to fold it in half along the blank side. Fold it in two, push it down. Again, I'm going to use my ruler just to make that crease a little bit crisper. And then we need to glue glue these together. So you could use your glue gun here. I am going to just use a plain old glue stick, and I'm just going to glue both sides and then flip it closed. Try to get that to meet up pretty nicely. Press it down, and we have the first section of our fan. So we're basically going to do all of those steps over 2 more times. So we'll put that section to the side, and we'll get the next piece of paper. Again, just going to measure that very first one so that it's about 1 inch. And again, I'm using a 12 by 12 paper, so it's up to you. And I'm really kind of lazy, so as long as the edges meet up here, I just kind of go for it. And then flip it over and continue on making our fan. And after every couple folds, just making those folds a little bit more crisper, I don't know. This little lap desk is convenient, but it's not as big as it really could be. All right. And you can see on mine that they're not all coming perfectly together, one on top of the other. It doesn't matter. If somebody's getting that close to your handiwork to complain, they need to A, step off, and B, be quiet. All right, so now we have 2 fans, and you'll notice that this one, I have a little bit, a little tiny bit of overhang. I'm not really that worried about it because I'm just not. So if you wanted to trim that off, you could, but I'm not going to. And then again, we have one side that is colored, one side that is white. So we're going to fold it white sides together. And then open it up, and we'll glue it. The glue gun, a glue gun, glue stick, whatever you got. And then we will stick that section together. Press it nice. And now we have 2 sections of our paper fan. And we'll do one more time. So where's our third piece? This third piece is ripped a little bit. That's okay. I'm still going to use it. Oh, gosh. What a travesty. Oh my gosh, this rips really messing me up. All right, so that's about 1 inch. There we go. And then we'll do our accordion folds. And you can really see that this one, the folds don't all line up properly. It truly isn't that big of a deal. So I can't get that hold of the edge there. So now, 2 sides, fold it in half. And then we'll glue this section together. Get some dirt in there somehow. All right. We now have 3 sections. And I know it kind of looks like we need another section, but I promise you we don't. So you can do this one of 2 ways. You can probably do it one of a million ways, but I do it one of 2 ways. Either taking your glue stick along the edge and stick it together, stick it together, stick it together, or I'm actually going to use this one I did with the glue stick, and it's holding just fine. So the glue stick, as long as you press it together well, will work. But you can also use a glue gun. And I happen to have my glue gun right here. So we'll just use that. And we'll do a little glue. And then we will stick it together crookedly. And then do the same thing for these last 2 sides. So I'll just put the glue on. You want to meet at the middle. The middle is the most important part, and then I would just kind of... All right, so we've got all 3 of our sections together. So now we just need to glue those bottom 2 pieces together. So this one's a teeny tiny bit trickier, but really not. And we'll just put a little glue. And then just bring this one on up to meet that one. And if you're using hot glue, you're going to have to be a little bit more careful so that you don't burn your fingers. But just like that, we have our second paper fan. And if you want to make a little circle like I did on this one, all I did was I grabbed a piece of from my beloved scrap paper pile. This one, let's do something a little bit wild. Let's use this rainbow chevron. And I grabbed a glass because the circle of the glass looked like it would be an appropriate circle for this sized fan. Just turn it over. This is from when we made our bunting. Anyway, just trace that. And then we'll cut out our circle. So if you're using paper that's not square, obviously your first step is going to be to trim one edge so that you have a square piece of paper. So we've got our circle. We've got our fan. Now this you do want to hot glue because this is so lumpy. And this side is a lot taller than the other side. So I'm going to put most of my glue right here on this tall section because that's where it's going to stick. And then we'll just pop this right in the middle. And just like that, oh, which direction? There we go. We have our second big fan. So this is the one where we had the ripped paper. So you can see on this edge, you can see a lot of white from where the edge was ripped. So if you don't like that, just trim the other side. Not that I assume that you're going to have a ripped piece of paper, but just give it a little trim and then it will all work out. No one will really notice. So we've got 2 big paper fans. Let's make a small one. Let's see. Let's use this multicolored polka dot. And so I'm going to just fold this into quarters. That is a pretty easy way to get 4. We only need 3, but obviously a square is going to generate 4 equal squares. And then I will just we'll open that up. And then I'll just cut along the folds to get our 4 squares. One, two. Three, and then a little piece from my scrap pile. So these ones, because they're so much smaller, obviously we're not going to be folding at 1 inch intervals. What do I do with my ruler? There it is, there it is, okay. So this one, I'm actually going to do a 1/2 inch thereabouts, at least attempt to. So because I have a unison pattern on here, I'm just going to look to see where the 1/2 inch line is. It's right there, which means I am folding very tiny to start. But I can see across the line of dots where I want to fold. That was 1/4 of an inch. Oh my gosh, what a ding dong. Oh no, that was, no, I'm still a ding dong, but I was doing it right. I was doing it right. Okay, all right. You can choose whatever fold you want to do. Really, this is going to be teeny tiny. Wait a second. No, I am an idiot. Gosh, it's taken me a long time to decide. Yeah, no, I am an idiot. Okay, 1/2 inch. Holy. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's all right, everyone. I'll get there. I'll get there. It's like, there's no way 1/2 inch is that small. It makes no sense. Since I got that first one all muddled up, this isn't folding as easily as the others. It was kind of like, you know, when you write the same word over a bunch of times, it suddenly doesn't look like it's even a word anymore. That's kind of how I was feeling about that measurement. Remember, these folds don't have to be perfect. Thank goodness for that. All right, so this is a good example of sometimes it just doesn't all line up properly. So I'm going to just cut this extra little bit off. And so we have fan at number 1. We're going to fold this in 2. Just deepen our crease a little bit. And then I'm going to glue, because I cut that little edge off, I don't have a blank side. So it doesn't really matter since both edges are going to end up being glued in the long run. And then we'll glue that together. Despite my efforts to screw it up, we have the first section of our fan. Let's see if I can get my act together for the next piece. Gosh, that goes so much faster when you don't overthink it all. And then we'll glue, fold it in half. Fold it in half. Then we'll glue these two sides together. Oh, geez. All right, section 2. Let's make one more. Let's throw the paper across the room. Oh, let's fold it the right direction. And let's also measure. It's not hard to tell it's Saturday, and all of my abilities have just gone right down the tubes. I find because we're using a smaller piece of paper that I don't have to press those folds down as often. And then we'll fold this guy in half. And then we'll glue them. All right. Now we've got 3 sections of our paper fan, and we're going to glue those together. Hot glue, glue stick, whatever you got. And stick them on. And then this next section. Sounded like a duck. And we'll glue that on. And then we'll put glue on one of these last 2 edges. Remember, this is the one you have to be a bit more careful about, because if you're using hot glue, that is. And glue that together. Oh, this one's so cute. So cute. And then I'm going to get a little piece of paper. I'll use this green polka dot. And because this is a smaller circle, or a smaller flat, well, it's a circle too. I'm going to use just the cover off of the glue stick to make the circle for this guy. And you don't have to make circles if you have, I was thinking last night, you know what would be super cute? If you had some big buttons, like buttons off of an old coat or something, and use those for the center, that would be super cute. Oh, that's going to be adorable. I don't mind saying. So a little gob in the middle there. We'll just pop this one on. Oh, that is so cute. On the other hand, I really don't like this one. I don't like this circle, so I'm going to rip it off. I'm not into it. It should be a solid. It should be more solid. So I think I'm going to use this light pink on light pink stripe. I think that will suit me better. So let's make a new circle. Oh gosh, this piece is just barely the right size. And obviously you don't have to put any circles on at all. You could put something completely different, but I just sort of like the way they look like flowers. And if you wanted to be super fancy, maybe we'll be super fancy on the next one. These scissors might not be good enough, but we could put a little detail on the end of the fans so they look more like a scalloped edge. That might be cute. So let's get this first one back. Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, that's hot, by the way. Yes, a big pom-pom would be Let's put that on the screen. A big pom-pom would be super adorable. Okay, so now we have 3 big fans. We have 2 giant and 1 a little. So when you get a whole bunch, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but you can just put a little hole in it and put string on it and just hang it from the ceiling or hang it from the wall. You could sort of glue them together to make them into just like one big wall hanging. But I want to make, this would be really adorable, is if you made all little ones like this or even smaller, and you made like a garland instead of, how sometimes people have pom-pom garlands? Wouldn't it be sweet if you had a garland that was all this? So you'd need a thicker piece of ribbon. So I've got this piece of ribbon. It's not super long. It's got Sport Check written all over it because it was part of a package that Sport Check sent me a long time ago. So understandably, I haven't really used the ribbon because it says Sport Check on the other side. But for this, it would be just perfect. So it's not huge. I also have a nice chunk that's Bath and Body Works from a Christmas present. But you can make your wall hanging, your garland, using a ribbon. So you would need your glue gun, and you would glue the ribbon right on the back. And then you could affix it on either side with the ribbon. But on top of that, you could build your flowers. Like you could glue one of these on top of one of those and make a whole little thing. It doesn't have to be a garland the way you think of a garland with lots of ribbon or whatever and just things interspersed. In this case, you could just make sure that you had everything fixed really well onto a nice sturdy piece of ribbon. You wouldn't want a little tiny piece of ribbon, but this is pretty good because it's nice and thick. And you could build your base on that ribbon and then build up from there. And then on the back, you could just attach it to the wall with tacks or tape or command strips or whatever you had. Yes, you could also hang them in the window. I thought about that too, and it would be really, really cool if you had the double-sided scrapbook paper, and then you could just put a circle on either side, so it's not just the people outside that would see it or the people inside. If you had the double-sided paper, I know Taryn had double-sided paper when we made the buntings, then people on both sides of the glass could enjoy it. So that would be very cute as well. And if you're doing it in the window, then I would definitely just put the little holes and string and then just have them all attached to the top of your window. All right, let's make one more little fan or circle or flower or whatever you want to call it, and then we'll attach some to that ribbon. So let me find one more piece of paper that I want to use. I want something that, oh, you know what? This is the paper we used for the center of this one. So what if I make a little one out of this? And it's not quite the same, but I could use this for the center, and it would be kind of like a role reversal. This isn't exactly the same, but it's pretty close. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So again, we're just gonna fold these in quarters. This would be really, really nice if you have a birthday or something in your house, and we can't really have parties or anything right now, but we could make some decorations to make the place look a little bit more festive, especially if the birthday boy or girl liked flowers. That would be nice. And one more. Let's see if I can keep my head wrapped around these measurements this time. I gotta take my shirt off. Oh, how this cutting and folding is doing me in. All right. Let's see if I can manage this 1/2 inch situation this time. I wonder if I have any double-sided paper. I used to, but I think I used it all. And again, my folds aren't great, so I have that overhang. I don't really want to fold that tiny piece. So then we'll fold this in half. So earlier I kept giggling. It's because my husband's working from home today. He was in the kitchen and he kept wandering, and I know he's over there laughing in his head over me just jabbering away to myself. All right, section 1. Man, that glue gun smells very hot. Oh, I had something I was going to tell you guys. I wonder what that was. I'm sure it was exceedingly urgent. If you find some double-sided paper, Linda, you can make some to put in your window. Alrighty, we'll fold this guy in half. And then we'll glue these sides together. Just that easy. There's section number 2. Let's get the third one. Get a ruler. See if I can figure out where that 1/2 inch is. And then we'll fold this one in half. So you can see after you get rolling, it really doesn't take very long to put these little guys together. Okie doke. Now we'll glue our 3 little dudes together after we throw it around a bit. I'll make sure that I have this on screen. You'll notice that unlike Monday, I obviously went down and got a tripod so I wouldn't have to hold the camera in my mouth like I did on Monday. And then Laura wanted to do that article for the paper, and she wanted the videos like, oh, Laura, that is the worst video I have ever recorded, was that friendship bracelet one. Surely that is not the one you want to share. So thankfully they decided to share the bird's nest cookie video instead, because holy mackerel, it's like the least organized I've ever been in my life. That's probably not true, but. And then this one, you have to be a little bit more careful because we can't pinch it from the outsides like we could those first ones. All right, look at this cutie. We'll get our little green paper out and we'll trace another circle. That glue stick cap, we'll do it over here because you know I don't want to waste paper. Find our scissors. And then we'll glue this little circle on. Now this guy, you can see on this edge, is a whole lot taller than the one that it's glued to. So I'm just going to sort of try and trim it down, but on an angle a bit, so that it looks a little less crazy. There, but again, oh, I was going to scallop the edges. Now we have to make one more. Dang it. Okay, we'll make one more small one, and then we'll stick them all together. Gosh. What a dummy. What a dummy. So we've got 2 green, a white, a pink. We need a blue, I think. Like a proper blue. We'll use this blue gingham. Okay. This is the last one for reals. Although I think the scalloped edge would look better on a big one, but that's okay. That's all right. We'll make do. So we've got our folds. We'll cut this out. No, I can't see from that side. You know, it's only just now in this moment that I realized that all of the patterns are on the cover. Anyway. Okay, so this one's got nice stripes, so it should be easy to fold. So we'll find the 1/2 inch mark. It's right around the top of that blue line. Now this time, before we glue the sections together, I'm still going to fold it. This would work better if a person had proper sharp scissors, which I don't. But I'm just going to round the edge off. So it's going to have a little scalloped edge. And I'm going to go down a little bit further on this side. Yeah, that's better. And then I'll glue it together, and then we'll open it up and take a little look. So you can see this one is going to have a little scalloped edge, just like a real little flower, which I think is going to be cute. These are still cute, but this one's just going to have a little extra detail. So let's do the other two, and then we'll finish this one off, and then we'll stick them all together because my legs are going to sleep. Oh shoot, I keep getting rid of my ruler just when I need it again. All right. Oh, sometimes fancy papers come with a scalloped edge or something already. That might be nice, depending on how big or little that scallop is. You can fold right along the edges of it. Now this one I have a bit of overhang, so I'm going to just trim that down. Then we'll fold it. And then we'll do that little scalloped edge. So I'm just doing around kind of like making a snowflake. Then we have our second little section. This one's going to remind me of Dorothy's Wizard of Oz dress. One more time, 1/2 inch. I don't know why I'm folding it backwards. Anyway, doesn't really matter which direction you do it as long as you can see the pattern. We'll fold this guy in half. And we'll trim those edges. So I don't know how well you can see, but that's just basically what I'm doing. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And then we'll glue this together. And I'm sorry if you have left a comment and I haven't mentioned it. Facebook is still only showing me a small percentage of comments while I'm live. So I will check them out when I finish. All right, so we've got our third scalloped edge. For anyone who's just joined us, you can glue these all together with a glue stick. I'm going to use a hot glue gun just because I have it right here. And we just put a little glue down the center, the end of one side. You want to meet the center up and then squeeze it all together. And then we'll do the same thing on the next edge. Start at the center, press everything, and then we'll put it along one of these edges, and then we have to be a little bit more careful because we can't hold it from the outside like we did on the other ones. So you want to go a couple folds back because that hot glue is still pretty hot. Funny about that. Oh, this one's so pretty. Now I'm going to find a piece of yellow, I think, or pink. Pink, if we have enough there. Maybe I should, no, maybe I do want to do yellow. So indecisive, but I would have to use a brand new piece of paper, and you know how that grieves me. Let's see what we got for, what about orange? What do we think about orange? Anyone have an opinion? Orange? I also have the brown polka dots. Arlene says pink. This pink? the pink of the previous flower. I did pink, that pink. No, orange. Orange? You're changing your mind to orange, or you don't want me to use orange? I need clarification. Yes, use orange? I can't follow instructions today. All right, we're going with orange. Where'd my glue stick cover go? Okay. I know, like, does it really matter? Does it really matter? Yeah, okay, I'm going to do pink. Okay, all right, everybody. All right, we'll go back to the pink. We'll go back to the pink. It's okay. It's okay. I just didn't want to use red because then it would be too red, white, and blue. It's not the 4th of July, and I'm not American. And I'm probably overthinking it. Oh. All right. See, how cute is that? Uh-oh, sorry orange. Sorry, orange people. All right. We've got this guy, and this guy. And then we've got these two giants. So I'm going to back this up a bit. You're going to see more of my tangled mess. I'm going to move some of these things because we're going to need to figure out a layout. Do you like my cranberry pants? Oh. All right. Where'd my rib? Oh, I forgot about my microphone. I'm sitting on it now. Oh, dear. There we go. So, we've got our ribbon. So what I am thinking is I glue these two guys on there, and maybe one of these on either side, and it's just oh, you still can't see very well. Maybe I'll turn it to the side. I'll turn it to the side. All right, so we've got a big one, a little. Let's go off the, oh, I can't angle this right there. So if we do the 5 like that, I think that will be quite cute. And is just the right length of the ribbon. And then I can swag it upright, or I can go straight up and down. So we will start. I think I want to put the pretty one that we just did in the middle because I want to show off how cute it is. I think that's important. So let's glue these guys. So I'm going to put them in order upside down. I'm going to move it a little bit here because I need some room to actually do this. So I'm going to back you guys up. Ah, there we go. So we're going to glue it on our red ribbon. We're going to find the middle-ish. It's right about there. And we're going to put some on this guy. And we're just going to stick it on. Be careful tapping that down. Remember, it's going to be hot. Now you can just see how I was just chucking all of my paper pieces wherever I wanted. And then we're just going to see how close everything has to be. All right, so that's going to work out just fine. So I'll pull this back, and I'll put some glue on this guy. We'll just gently put that over. Where's that glue stick? tap that on, and then we'll do the same on this last one. And then we'll go the other way. And I'm not tapping that down with my fingers because that glue is really hot and you don't want to burn yourself. And then we'll just move this all down. We'll get this last one put on. And then we're going to let that dry for a couple seconds. But there's just enough edge left on either end that we're going to be able to attach it to the wall. Uh-oh, I've disappeared. There I am. Just be able to attach it to the wall. And uh-oh, I was a little premature. It wasn't ready. It's important you let that completely cool. All right, I'm going to let that cool. I'm going to get rid of our close-up here because you don't need to see my stretched out legs. But you can make as many of those as you want. And remember, you don't have to put it on a ribbon. You can just put little hole punches on the top or tape it on and use string, visible fishing line, anything like that to hang them. And you can put them in the window, on the wall, hang them from your skylight if you have a skylight. And it would be especially cute if you had those double-sided papers. But even without, this side should be dry enough that we can sort of start to pick it up. It's going to be super cute. Yes, I know. Well, you're really hoping. I would like to see everybody in May, but I have my doubts. Anyway, I will let this completely cool. I will hang it up. I'll take a picture and post it so you can all see. And if you make some of these paper fans, paper flowers, whatever you want to call them, I want you to share the pictures with me because I want to see yours as well. So that is it for today. We've been going for an hour just about. So we're going to wrap this up here because I need to have some coffee and I need to fix my hair because it's dry, but it's very poofy. Anyway, have a good weekend and I will talk to you next week. Bye.